Alright guys, got another video here. This is more of like an experiment video because I've kind of been deciding if I want to come back to YouTube more. And I've been leaning more towards coming back and making more content more frequently for you guys. But I just haven't decided quite how to do that yet because I don't really want to go back to the way that I used to make videos, which was just like covering the Eagles day to day, week to week kind of thing. I think creators like Joey Shakes or like Philly 500, those guys already do a fantastic job at that. So shout out to them when it comes to Eagles content. And so the big thing that I've been thinking about lately, for really like 3 years now, is the NFL rigged? And that's actually what I'm probably going to title this video, because there's been a lot of other cases, obviously, and I'd have to make videos with clips, probably like analyzing this, like showing how it's rigged, because this is my theory. This is my fundamental thesis, I guess, is that the refs decide who wins the game and who loses the game. And it's not very popular to say that in NFL circles, because almost any fan, if you bring that up, they get really mad and, oh, it's just a loss, any given Sunday. And, I used to be like that, to be honest, until about 2019, 2020. I think it might have been 2018. It was the year that the Rams played the Patriots in the Super Bowl, if you guys remember that, because I remember the Saints game. The Eagles lost to the Saints that year because Alshon Jeffrey dropped the pass. A lot of you guys probably remember that, Eagles fans especially. But I remember the game after that. The Saints went on and played the Rams, and there was that infamous, I can't remember the exact call, so I apologize, but you guys probably know what I'm talking about. There was this really bad call that the refs missed, and it was so blatant that it basically looked like the refs wanted the Rams in the Super Bowl. And, that was the year when the Rams were starting to get more of a market again. This was before they were like officially back in LA with a new stadium and a new uniform. They were trying to like rebrand them they were in that transition. They were trying to rebrand from the St. Louis Rams to the LA Rams. So there was a lot of speculation, and at the time I ignored a lot of it because I was still kind of on the camp of the NFL is completely legit, right? And so I just remember too, I read the other day that sports betting was made legal in 2018. So again, this would probably be a much more in-depth video that I would make. Other than this, it would be probably more of like an edited video too. Like I'd have to find articles, clips, things like that to make my case. But I just wanted to make this video because really I've been analyzing the Redskins-Eagles game that just happened, and just two things stuck out to me, particularly that annoyed me in that game. My brother actually pointed out another one the other day. If you look at the final throw from Jaden Daniels, I think I don't know which Redskin player it was, but if you look at like the top of the screen, the right or left tackle, one of those, false starts. And I know that happens all the time, but like the Chiefs are notorious at this point for getting away with that. Like they false start constantly. I've been told Lane Johnson does it though. He false starts. So this is what I mean about it. It's not that it's like I'm telling the refs they should call every play. I'm really actually just trying to make the case here that the refs literally decide who wins and who loses, because unless a team is getting completely blown out, but even then, sometimes I wonder if the refs allow that, right? Because sometimes a team just getting completely blown out could just mean that the refs don't throw flags, or they throw flags on the other team. But I'd have to go through much more analysis than this. But it's my basic thesis because, yeah, to get back to the Redskins game in particular, the one thing that annoyed me first was just analyzing this whole Jalen Hurts situation. Apparently, the coaches cleared him to come back in, and he went to the medical tent as well. And it looked like he was good to go. There's like that screen. I'm gonna make it the thumbnail of this video actually, but there's that. You'll see that like he gives the thumbs up to the refs, and the refs are the ones that make him go out. Now I know he's in concussion protocol. They're saying that he's probably not even gonna play against Dallas this week, so which is kind of predictable as well, to be honest. See, like this is what I mean about the NFL. They're probably just gonna like dofe these last 2 games and then get into the playoffs, and then we're going to play the Redskins again, right? I'm going to predict it now. I think it's going to be Redskins. If we beat them, it's either going to be the Packers or the Buccaneers. I think the Packers will play the Buccaneers, so whoever wins that. I'm leaning towards the Eagles are going to play the Buccaneers again. And then it will probably be the Lions. So if the Eagles go to the Super Bowl, they're probably going to play those 3 teams. Like it's already looking like that. Because I think the Vikings will lose, and I think the Packers will lose at some point. And then as far as the NFC West goes, I just don't think any of those teams are going to make it, because I think the best team in that division is the Seahawks right now, but they're not impressive. So I don't know who they're going to play, but I just don't even think those will be a factor when the Eagles go. I really think that the Eagles are going to have to play the Redskins again. Like that's just feeling... Which, again, that makes this loss, you know, it's good, but also, as far as the NFL being rigged, it sets up the perfect narrative, right? Because it's like, now it's the revenge game. So, like, this is what they're going to go with. So, anyway, the thing that bothered me was it looked like Jalen Hurts was good to go. And you guys watched the game. Like, we were basically in motion to blow the Redskins completely out. Like, it was about to be a massacre. We put up 14 points like it was nothing. And then Kenny Pickett came in. They went up 14-0, and then that was when they found out that Hurts couldn't come back. So then Kenny Pickett came back in and he threw that stupid interception that led to the Redskins scoring. And then the Eagles, they got a good run with Barkley, and it was 21-7. But basically after that point, it was like a game, you know. It was literally heading to where we could have put up like 30 points uncontested if Jalen Hurts stayed in the game. So that's why I was like, okay, the refs made him leave the game because they want the Redskins to win. I think there's like, again, I'm gonna like the plan I have for making the case for this, and it depends on the Super Bowl this year too. Like that's why I'm making this video now. Depending on what happens during this year's Super Bowl. Because I don't think I've said yet, but if the Chiefs win the Super Bowl again, that's the only time in NFL history that a team has three-peated. So right there, it's already going to feel extremely rigged if the Chiefs win. I mean, especially if it's like the Lions. If it's like the Lions-Chiefs or Eagles-Chiefs again, something like that, and the Chiefs win again. I actually think, to be honest, if the Eagles and the Chiefs are in the Super Bowl again, and the Chiefs win it, it's 100% rigged, and that's when I'll really start going to town, because Jason Kelce, like a month ago, said on his podcast with I don't think it was with Jason Kelce, I think he said it somewhere else, but he literally said that the Super Bowl is going to be the Chiefs and the Eagles, and the Chiefs are going to win again. And so if that all happens, you know, like a lot of people say that last year was the Taylor Swift Bowl, right? Like the Chiefs couldn't win. I was one of them. The Chiefs could not lose last year because Taylor Swift brought so many women and so many other people to the sport. Like they were making so much money off of this chick. Between that and like the Pfizer commercials, you know, like that NFL is like the biggest entertainment product on earth at this point. And so last year it was like extremely predictable to where I didn't think the Niners had a chance to win, to be honest, because yeah, like whenever the Chiefs are anywhere in the playoffs or the Super Bowl, like it just they're the golden team, right? That's another thing I'd probably get into is the NFL has this pattern now that I've recognized is where you know, you go from Tom Brady and the Patriots for 20 years, you know, but that fizzles out. Now they're irrelevant, but you need a new golden team, right? And so in many ways the Eagles are like that for the NFC. But you need like the team that's like the dominant team, and right now that is definitely the Chiefs, even though there's lots of evidence that the Chiefs are really not that good of a team, guys. They're pretty average. They win a lot of close games. They get a lot of flags at the end of games to win those close games. So they're like the perfect team, I think, to make the case that the NFL's rigged. Like even more than the Patriots. The Patriots, there's a lot of evidence that they were rigged as well. But it's like an absolute gold mine with the Chiefs. So I'm going to tackle that for sure. If the Chiefs like win a Super Bowl, it's going to be very interesting. But yeah, there was the Jalen Hurts call, and then you guys probably know the second one I'm going to say is that just the C.J. Garner-Johnson ejection. That felt very rigged because they're literally making memes about this. He taunted a Redskin player and then got punched by the Redskin player. He didn't punch back. He taunted, got hit, and then he taunted again, and they ejected him later in the game. So he taunted, got punched in the face himself, no ejection for the Redskins, then he gets ejected when he taunts again. So that to me, again, feels like he's one of the best players on defense, guys. Like it's like CJ, Cooper DeJean, and Quinyon Mitchell. Those are like the three, and maybe like Darius Slay is a fourth, but he's getting old. So like the real top ones. And actually, sorry, I forgot Blankenship. Those guys are all good, but I think CJ, he's like one of the best as far as the secondary goes on the Eagles. So like just taking him out of the game is a huge deal. And they took him out like at a critical moment, right? As you saw, the game literally came down to the wire. That's what it is. Like the bread and circuses aspect, right, guys? But it literally came down to the wire, and then they win in the final seconds of the game. So it just felt very predictable. And I was really mad when I watched the game. I made a previous video that you guys, a lot of you guys watched, actually. Thanks for watching that. But I was really, really mad. But the more I started to think about it, I have a different mindset with the NFL now. Like I said, it's just, okay, what's really going on here? Like, I've seen the Eagles win a Super Bowl. I've seen them go to a Super Bowl again after that. I've seen many playoff games. At this point, I'm also like getting a bit older, so I just don't care as much. Like my emotional investment in the Eagles is still there, obviously, but it's just not like it was when I was much younger. And my mind is a lot clearer on these things as well. So I've just been thinking about it for several years. I haven't really made YouTube content consistently since 2019 because I just, especially with the pandemic that year, just all the political stuff that happened, I just lost a lot of interest in it. And so the last like 4 years of watching the NFL, I've just been able to kind of sit back and analyze it. And then obviously with the advent of sports betting really getting big in like 2021, 2022, the Kelsey Bowl, that was another thing that kind of made me sick. Like, I was so glad the Eagles were in there, but the way that they hyped up the Jason Kelsey, Travis Kelsey thing was absolutely cringe. Like, I'm be honest, I cannot stand the Kelsey brothers crap at this point. Like, I wish it would just go away. I was telling my my friend the other day, I think Jason Kelsey and Travis Kelsey will probably be in movies at some point. Like, they're going to be actors. That's just how like cringe a lot of stuff is now, because like you see this with WWE, another sports entertainment, right? Like The Rock, John Cena, like all of these guys end up being in Hollywood, and so they probably will start doing that with NFL players, like if they're like charismatic enough. Like you look at a Jason Kelsey, it's like, yeah, he'd be in like the most cringe movies too. Like they'd just be the most like woke, whatever. That's a separate rant for another day, but to bring this all back, like I said, the NFL feels like an entertainment product. I'm making this video to kind of like gauge the space, I guess. I don't know how many people will watch this video because it's like out of the blue, but I will encourage you, especially if you got this far, we're 14 minutes in, please leave a comment down below and let me know what you think about the NFL these days in the year of our Lord 2024. Do you think it's rigged? Do you think I'm crazy? Would you like to see me make content like that? I'm probably going to do it anyway, but I'm like just wondering, how many people are thinking like I'm thinking, I guess. Like, Do you see the lines of code? Or I like to use the Matrix metaphor. Like, are you starting to see the narrative? Are you starting to see the lines of code? Do you like just see that this is more than just a game? It's an entertainment product. You know, it's like akin to like ancient gladiators in Rome, right? A lot of gladiator depictions depict the gladiators murdering each other, but in reality, a lot of the gladiator fights were rigged. You know, there was a lot of gladiators that were very they brought the crowd. They were very popular, so they weren't going to just let them die. And so, like, I think the NFL is like that too. Like, there's teams that they can, you know, that they can astroturf the team with the media cycles, and they can do all sorts of things, right? Like, just study the stock market, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. If you guys haven't done that, it's all just market manipulation. And now that sports betting is part of it, I mean, to be honest, that's the larger discussion, is that I think sports betting has ruined the NFL, quite literally. That's like the ultimate conclusion of all of this, of like why I would try to prove this, is that I think that the NFL has been completely ruined by sports betting. Because, I mean, with all the political woke crap in 2020, plus this, it's just like so much now, to the point where it really does feel fake and gay, to use that term, because I don't know, it just hasn't felt the same. You know, the Eagles are really good. I'm obviously happy about that, but the refs are just out of hand. Like, I know the refs have been bad. You know, I've been watching the Eagles for over a decade now. I know the refs have been bad, but it's just so much different now. It just feels like they literally, maybe I just didn't see it in the past, I don't know, but it just really feels like they can determine who wins and who loses a game. And it's just really bad. You know, there's really nothing you can do about it, obviously, as fans. You just have to watch. And, you know, I'm still going to watch my team because I love the Eagles. I love the way they look, their uniform, everything about it. But it's just, you know, I'm going to be wanting to watch from a different angle going forward. And when I start making content, probably from a different angle. So anyway, guys, that's the video. It's almost 20 minutes now. I don't want to ramble for too long. I went over the points I wanted to go over. I think this Eagles-Redskins game was really bad. Wanted to bring that up. One of the worst games ever. I'm not saying to panic with the team. I still think the Eagles will go to the playoffs. In fact, the Eagles probably have, I think the Eagles and the Lions have the highest chance to go to the Super Bowl. Just my prediction. We'll see what happens. But the Lions, again, that would be a good narrative as well. But if the Lions go to the Super Bowl, it would almost have to be the Bills that they play. Because the narrative for that would be, well, no matter who wins, somebody finally wins, right? Because none of those teams have won a Super Bowl. But I just think any team that plays the Chiefs, they're going to lose. So, like, if the Chiefs are in the Super Bowl, it's like, there's just no way. And if it's the Chiefs, I just see it being the Eagles again. I could see that happening, just the Eagles-Chiefs again. You know, they were doing that before with the Patriots, right? The Eagles, in fact, I just thought of that. Actually, the Eagles played the Patriots twice in the Super Bowl, so it would only be fitting that they play them again. But anyway, guys, that's kind of what I wanted to say. Like I said, let me know down below. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing, and thank you guys so much for watching. Talk to you later.